Shemai, Yasharallah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Echad, Shemai, Yasharallah, Yahweh, Allah Hayanawa, Yahweh, Echad.
All praise and glory be unto
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai.
Double honors unto the apostles of GMS, true elders of all of Israel on earth today, right? With the brothers of the Chicago GMS camp. And, you know, we're outdoors for the weekly sit down. And, you know, kind of an open subject. But we are going to talk about, the NAT tournament, okay? So we went to a theater last night, and it was a packed theater, and there was not one Edomite in there. I really don't think that it's going to be too many of them that's going to come out to see this movie, man.
In our theater, was none, zero.
Yeah, so it was no Edomites in that movie, even though it was Edomites in the theater, but none came in to watch that particular movie.
That's right.
All right, because it's too condemning, and the evidence that it reveals. Basically, they show that movie what we come out here and talk about and teach every week.
That's right.
All right, and my favorite part of the movie, and spoiler alert, if you haven't seen the movie, don't watch this video yet.
That's right.
I'm telling you that now.
Pause it now.
All right?
That's right, and just come watch us next week. Right?
Come. Right, make a mental note of it, write it down, and watch us next week. But my favorite part of the movie is when he began to buck up, because he had he understood the Bible more so than his oppressors, because he had already started condemning them with scriptures, and it was going right over their heads, man.
That's right. And he did it in their face, but they couldn't perceive it.
Right.
Until it was confrontational with the other preacher, and then he lit, and they was going back and forth, which is what we do out here on the highways and byways on a regular basis.
Con, you got scripture? Bring it out, brother.
Amos chapter 3, verse 7. Surely Yahweh will do nothing, but he revealed his secret unto his servants, the prophets.
Right, so he reveals his secrets unto the servants, the prophets, man. So only the prophets are going to understand this Bible. Not some fake Catholic priest, not some Baptist preacher or some Methodist preacher, you know, or some preacher up in some fake phony church, man. They're not going to understand this, man. Right, but the scene in particular is, like you said, when it became confrontational, and he started quoting the typical, or was it is that in Matthew the 13th chapter? What is that scripture when it says obey the masters? It's in Peter's.
Right, and that's
somebody get Leviticus 20. Is it 26 and 19? He either stealeth a man.
Exodus 21.
Exodus 21 and 16. The water, brother. But yeah, the guy brought that out. Go ahead and read it, brother.
This is Exodus 21.
No. Read the other one.
Servants.
Yeah, your servants obey your masters.
I get it right here. Ephesians chapter 6.
Now,
verse
if you
5.
now if you were watching IUIC, or should we say the Christian American Church, CAI, they don't look up words. So masters, hey, if you at time of the slavery time, then the masters was the master. All right, it meant exactly what it would mean. Right, exactly. But because they don't look up the meaning of words. It's okay to just read it in English. You know? But go ahead, brother.
All right, Ephesians chapter 6, verse 5. Servants, be obedient to them that are your masters according to the flesh.
So this is what they pushed during the time of slavery. They pushed this as a doctrine, to be obedient to your masters. And so they push that, and you have to understand that the churches and the same people that push this doctrines are the same people that set up theologian schools and places of learning. So that same false doctrine is pushed to this day.
That's right, and
nothing has changed.
If I may say, and how the preacher man who set it up for Nat to go out and preach with his owner, every time they went to a new plantation, the dude was like, look, as long as he can come preach as long as he speak what's right, or say this and say that's going to benefit the slave owner. And then one of them was like this, man, if you don't even like this, man, I tell you right now, we're going to shoot you. We're going to shoot you, and we don't give a fuck. If you come on this plantation and you say something outside of this, we're going to kill you. You accept that? Okay, come teach.
And that's pretty much what it was. So they will let you know in that movie that there was a forced false doctrine force, and all the schools of learning for Christianity are still set up based upon those principles unto this day.
That's right.
Unchanged.
I got the precept that he actually brought out in the movie was 1 Peter 2:18. Servants, be subject to your masters with all fear, not only the good and gentle, but also the froward.
Yeah, he used that in the movie. All right, and so, and then later on in the movie, he said for every scripture that they actually, Matt, you said, you can say it better than I did.
Yeah, well, he said for every scripture they use to justify them in what they doing unto them, it's another scripture that condemns them for doing that.
I got one that condemned exactly what he said just now.
And that's what he told this homie, all right? You know, because he was trying to be the peacemaker and keep everything cool, and then he felt guilty because he watched the pain that his friend had to go through and giving his wife up and let her be and let her be violated and not pleased by this nasty ass Edomite. All right, and so he had to endure that pain, he and his wife together, because she was shamed and he was shamed. Okay,
this is one of them opposite scriptures that he was talking about, because if you misinterpret that 1 Peter, then this will be in confliction. All right. This is Psalms 50 and 16. But unto the wicked, God said, what hast thou to do to declare my statutes?
So what did they had no business picking up this Bible in the first place. Okay, it had nothing to do with them. This is a book for the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American, and of course the scattered confusion of faith is among the heathen. Go ahead.
Or that thou shouldest take my covenant in thy mouth.
So they had no business picking up this book anyway, and then they used this book as a weapon against us.
That's right.
All right, and that movie proved it.
Seeing that thou hatest instruction and castest my words behind it.
Right, so they hated instruction and cast the words behind it because they straightforth put up their false image of Cesare Borgia, knowing that the Lord was not a so-called white man. That's a lie. That's easily disproven. Go ahead, brother.
I got some more though.
This is Acts, because it's gonna land back right off what you read. This is Acts 8 and 21. It says, thou hast neither part nor lot in this matter.
Right.
For thy heart is not right in the sight of the Most High.
Right, their heart is not right in the sight of the Most High. They had none. That's a beautiful precept, brother. Beautiful. Before you finish that, bring out that Leviticus. That Exodus 21 and 16.
This is Exodus 21 and 16. And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death.
And when he said that, that's when the man butt stroked him in the mouth.
That's right.
Yep. All right. He butt stroked him in the mouth, and then he got whipped after that. All right. Okay, go ahead, brother.
All right. You got more than that? Okay.
No, that was it, brother.
All right. This is back to Psalms 50. I'm gonna pick it up at 18. When thou sawest a thief, then thou consentest with him, and hast been partaken with adulterers. This is the point I want to make. Thou givest thy mouth to evil, and thy tongue frameth deceit.
Right, they framed deceit. Why? Because they pushed the false doctrine. They pushed a false doctrine, you know. And to why? Because they were trying to control the slaves, man. They were trying to keep them. They were trying to keep them under control. So that's why they pushed that false doctrine like that.
That's right.
And like I said, once again, this movie gave total evidence of it. And all they were doing in that movie, the things that you witnessed in that movie, especially when it came up to that confrontation,
right,
when he began to cut the master and ended up getting himself whipped as a result of it. That's what we do out here on the byways and highways and byways every week, man.
That's right.
We're proving that there is violence in the scriptures, that there is recompense and payback in the scripture.
Which is only right.
Yes, they were authorized to do what they do to us according to scripture, but there's also scriptures that says we're going to be authorized to recompense them, to pay them back. And that part, they don't, they ain't want to touch on it.
That's right.
Bring it out, bro.
I got a quick point too. Also in the scriptures, when they talk about masters or father or things like that, there's a spiritual side of that, like your spiritual father or a spiritual master. This is 1 Timothy 1 and 2. Unto Timothy, my own son in the faith.
Kind.
So Timothy, who did he obey? Paul. He was his son in the faith. Grace, mercy, and peace from the Most High, our Father, and Yahweh Shai Mashiach, our power.
That's right, brother.
Right, and you know what? I'm willing to bet too that Gamaliel probably looked at Paul the same way. All right, and you've heard us bring this point out before, especially when it comes to these brothers bucking up to the men that taught them.
That's right.
All right, and to the elder brothers over them who in this truth before them. And when they buck up to them like that, all right, you know they you never heard Gamaliel one time ever come against Paul. I mean Paul and Salaki. I meant that the other way around. Slip of the speech. You can see the comments already. Right, but you never see Paul say anything bad about Gamaliel. All right, and Paul far surpassed Gamaliel, but he still respected him as an elder. All right, and as a teacher. Okay, because why? He learned the first part of his ministry was the understanding of the law. He learned it under Gamaliel.
I mean,
all right,
even the wicked high priest. When Paul realized that shit, that's the high priest. Well, I walk not, and he apologized for saying what he said to him. And he knew he was wicked and he was going on. That's not the example the apostles set for us, man. They don't rail or cuss out the high priest Ariah.
Right, and it's clear that Ariah is going the hell off right now. But do you hear them say anything bad about him outside of the fact that he's going off right now?
On the doctrine.
Right, and they always say that they believe that he's gonna come back.
And this goes hand in hand with what you're saying and what the brother. So we let that one pass. That was a good siren. That was a good siren, right? That's one of the brothers who work for the fire department. That was good. This is 1 Timothy 5:1. Rebuke not an elder, but entreat him as a father, and younger men as brethren. So the Most High, that's an order. First of all, that goes against all these motherfucking scoffers out here coming against the apostles at Great Millstone and the elders and leaders in the different camps. The Most High said, you don't rebuke them. Now, if they're going off, the Lord's going to have the elders over them deal with them. All right? But the whole point right here was the brother brought out the Timothy scripture. When you talk about your fathers and servants obey your masters, it's talking about the leaders and the elders of Yasharallah. Right?
And just to make that clear, there are elders and leaders in Yasharallah, man. So you're not a solo guy, man. You got to answer to somebody.
That's right. Always.
Right.
Everybody got somebody over them.
And then all these guys who go out and start trying to do their own thing, they learned under someone. There was and that someone that you learned under is master over you, man. And I don't mean master like slave master.
Right.
But that person is your teacher, your spiritual father, your teacher. That person is in a ranking structure set up by the Most High that's actually over you. Now you may end up being higher than them in the kingdom. We don't know that. But on this side, you came in under them, then you are under them.
That's right.
All right. And unless they do something that's wicked, that's outwardly wicked, it's not your place to say anything negative about them. And they still doing the work. They still coming out on the highways and byways, doing this work, opening up this Bible and dividing this word truthfully, correctly, directly and correctly, then you have nothing to say about them.
That's right. And you never know who we were in the past and who we're going to be in the kingdom. How do you know the Most High hadn't put you in a low degree right now to see how you handle it to exalt you in due time? That's why the scripture said, do nothing out of strife and vainglory. We don't know, and it shouldn't fucking matter, because the scriptures also say that every man to esteem each other, but what? Better than yourself, man. I look at these brothers, and I'm like, man, these brothers are deep. This brother got a priest, this brother this and this and that. We got the precept assassin. We got the warrior. All right. We got you're supposed to be looking at each brother and the good and how they fit with the and part of the body. He said this is a body fitly framed together. All right. And now one part of the body can exalt itself over the other side of the body, because take off your fucking hand and see how much you can do and accomplish without your hand. Cut off your pinky finger and see how much things you can't do.
Take off one of your fingernails.
That's right,
and
brother.
see how much of a mighty man you are with that fingernail missing, man.
That's right, brother.
You need the whole body, man.
That's right.
You think a fingernail is not important, you wait till you lose one.
That's right.
And you go to reach in your pocket or touch something.
And then now forever you got to put something over there to protect it, because that right there can cause you to come down to the ground.
Not to mention that it can bring upon all kind of infection and sickness.
That's right.
So you need, because your hands, it touches everything first in most cases, man. So you can touch all kind of germs, and your skin is a living organ. Your skin absorbs things.
That's right.
So even your skin is a part of the member. It's a part of the body, man.
That's right.
Because Paul looked at himself as the least of the saints, man. He considered, Yahweh Shai himself, he said, I am lowly and meek, man. You know?
As a matter of fact, there is man, when you go to Tobit, it talks about how meek Tobit was, man. Let me see if I can.
He kept digging the dead.
Right, exactly. He kept killing
he kept burying the dead even when
his life was in danger. That's exactly.
While you're pulling that up, let me hit this real quick. This is First Corinthians 12. I'm gonna start with 22. As a matter of fact, I'm gonna pull up a little bit. Verse 20. But now are they many members, but yet one body. The eye cannot say unto the hand, I have no need of thee, nor again the head to the feet, I have no need of you. Nay, much more those members of the body which seem to be more feeble are necessary. So you got members of the body of Yasharallah that might seem insignificant. There's no such thing as insignificant part of this body of Yasharallah. It said it might seem to be more feeble, but they are necessary. All right? You don't see the spleen, but without the spleen, how is the body going to filter, and the kidneys and so forth, certain things, poisonous things that's in your body? All right? You can't listen to Esau, who's going to say, oh, you don't need the tonsils, let's just take the tonsils out. Oh, you don't need the appendix because there's no need for it. It is a need for everything in the body. It's a purpose for everything in the body. It's a purpose for every member of the camp of Yasharallah. All right?
And you never know, the small brother who doesn't speak much, who doesn't talk much, you never know when the spirit is going to jump on him and he becomes a great man of the truth.
That's right.
And among my brothers, include some that are standing here now, they started off quiet and meek, man.
That's right.
And now they're some of the most dynamic speakers and teachers, man.
That's right.
I've watched it happen with my own eyes.
That's right.
Okay?
And those members of the body which we think to be less honorable, upon these we bestow more abundant honor. And our uncomely parts have more abundant comeliness. For our comely parts have no need, but God hath tempered the body together, having given more abundant honor to that part which lacked, that there should be no schism in the body, but that the members should have the same care one for another. Right? And I mean, it's more to it, but that's the point. Right?
Let them bring yours and bring that one out.
This is Acts 5:29. Then Peter and the other apostles answered and said, we ought to obey the Most High rather than men.
That's right.
Right. So that's what we seek to do. We seek to obey the Most High rather than men, man.
And that's what Nat did.
Right, and that's exactly what he did.
Because they gave him an opportunity.
Unto his death.
Right. They gave him an opportunity to humble down and conform, and he would.
But then not only that, by that time, he was like, I'm for my people.
That's right.
I'm either going to die saving them or die failing. But I'm not, and then he also decided too, I'm not going to live in this condition.
That's right.
He was to the point that, look, I'm not going to live like this.
And he forsook his woman and his kid.
Yeah.
Because he could have sat down and worked something out to just be under their rule. No, he said, no, fuck that. All right, baby, I got to go do this.
Right. Not only that, man, the Edomites beat up and raped this woman.
That's right.
All right. Damn, they looked like they damn near beat her to death.
Damn near. That's right.
Okay. She almost didn't make it. And was it necessary? And it goes to show you. Matter of fact, before you read that, give me they deal treacherously with thee. Because that's a perfect precept for that scenario, brother. Y'all about Shema Shah Brakatah, brother. That's a perfect precept for that incident, man.
Okay, this is Isaiah 33:1. Woe to thee that spoilest, and thou was not spoiled.
Right.
And dealt treacherously, and they dealt not treacherously with thee.
That's why he ate a knife in his windpipe slow.
That's right.
Like in the Biggie Small song.
That's right.
Right? Go ahead.
When thou shalt cease to spoil, thou shalt be spoiled.
Right. When thou shalt cease to spoil, right? When you shall cease to spoil, now you want to be at peace and love on everybody. No, it's too late for all that.
Because they took everything.
Right. You got to pay. Right. When you sitting up on all the gold, I'm sitting up on the gold, on all the silver, on my throne, smoking the cigar. Now I want to be at peace.
Okay, everybody, we cool? We cool? Yeah, right. Motherfucker, you cool?
Right. All right. I'm gonna drink this fine wine. You drink that wild turkey.
Yeah,
And
right,
I'm gonna drink this right.
That watered
I drink
down
this
mint
12-year, this 30-year-old Scotch, and you gonna drink that right gut over there.
That's right.
Can you
brother.
go kick rocks?
That's it.
Good. Go ahead, brother. All right.
And when thou shalt make an end to deal treacherously, they shall deal treacherously with thee.
So now they want peace, but no, you got to pay for all your treacherousness that put you in a position, this advantageous position that you've been living in all this time.
That's
Now it's time for payback, and they don't want to hear.
All right.